Wow, what does it take to be a sportscaster? A lot. I think the first and foremost, I mean, you have to have a genuine interest and passion for sport. If you don't, you're not going to last in this industry. And I tell so many young ladies, particularly, that come up to me and say, "This is what I want to do." I say, what's the reason? Why do you want to get into this industry? Do you have a genuine interest and passion for the game, or is it because you think it's glamorous? And if that's the reason why you want to get into it, trust me, you're not going to last. Sports fanatics know their sport inside and out. So what is it that you're telling them that they don't know? How are you educating someone who has been following sport for so many years? So your knowledge has to be 110%. It really has to be on another level. And the only way that you're going to add to your knowledge is if you follow sport. If you keeping up with all the latest trends, the latest updates, the playing personnel, the coaches, the different rules that come in. You've been following major events for years and you keep up with them. If sports is number one in your life, then that's the first thing that it takes to really make it in this industry. And then, of course, you have to have a thick skin. You really have to know, you have to be extremely, extremely knowledgeable about it. So that's what's given me staying power as well. I'm seen as an authority, the first lady of sport. And yeah, always keep it fresh, keep it current, and I'm always educating whoever's watching. Wow. Now, really exciting. What we have seen is the whole world of football standing together to condemn the attacks. There have been a few gender-related obstacles, because this is such a male-dominated industry. And sadly, 16 years on, it still is. That's one thing that I would have liked to have seen change through the years, is more and more women getting involved in sport in general, on the field of play. If you look at, for example, the female teams, Banyana Banyana, for them to get as much attention as Bafana Bafana, the financial incentives, for them to be as supported, even corporate South Africa to support women in sports as much. And the change is coming, but it just isn't quick enough. And initially for me, it was really, really tough to get started in this industry, to be taken seriously more than anything else. And there were a few interesting situations where, for example, I'd be asked to go into a dressing room, at a football match and speak to the players, maybe before the game or afterwards. And you know what it's like. They'll be in their underwear, very, very relaxed. And to see a woman walking into that kind of scenario and do an interview and look them dead in the face and don't look at the body, don't go lower, And then obviously initially there was a little bit of flirting. The players would think, obviously, she thinks I'm hot, or even the coaches. So they'd try the flirting route and not really take you as seriously. But, you stay the course, you ask really serious questions and proper, and that's where the knowledge came in. And as I said, having to be thick-skinned and having to be confident as well. You need to make up for the fact that you are a woman and we are seen as nurturers. And, obviously you need to make up for that confidence to be taken as seriously. So initially when I started out, there was a difficulty in terms of that. But 16 years, I'm now seen as, leading lady, and I stand toe-to-toe with my male peers, and that's not happening anymore. But I think for women that are getting started in this industry, they are going to have to expect that, particularly if your knowledge is not up to par, and then you're not going to last, sadly. Yeah.
Really, violence is not going to sort anything out.
It certainly won't. You also add, of course, you'll hear rather from the captains of the various teams in action today, also giving us. The way that I keep up to date and stay at the top of my game is it's really easy, and it comes naturally for me because I love sports. So sports is a part of my life. I'm very blessed that I've got 3 boys, and they're also crazy about sport. So it's part of my daily life. When I wake up, the first thing I do is catch up latest updates, look at highlights of games that I may have missed because I was working on a particular game, or maybe because I was at another venue, and I keep up with the game globally. My friends, colleagues, very close individuals the majority of them are players. I've got really amazing relationships with players globally. They're like my best friends, have them on WhatsApp. So I'm always keeping up with how they're doing personally, how their teams are performing. They give me updates. if I'm going to be downloading an app, most likely it will be like a sports app, to give me updates, to give me the lowdown. The conversations that I have are usually around sport, finding out what's happening, finding out the latest breaking news. If I'm reading a newspaper or magazine, I'll start off with the sport feature, and it'll be the reason why I'm buying that particular newspaper or magazine. It will be, sports profile, sports update, newspapers. I'll start from the back. So for me, it's just a natural part of my life. Sport really is just naturally a part of my everyday life, and I just find that that's why it's so seamless. And this doesn't feel like work, and I don't feel like I'm literally sitting down and having to do research. And this is a part of my life.